Hello, gorgeous. Today, I want to dive into the topic of cultivating a courageous voice among the culture, the cult of wokeness, social justice warriors, and all the self censorship that is occurring through social media. I have a lot of different stories that I want to share because this is something that is happening and has happened to me. And so I'm sharing from a place of experience in hopes that you may look at my story and create your own thesis or way of relating that can help you understand and understand the gravity of how limiting self-censorship it is for creators, for art, for human evolution. And so there's a quote by Elbert Hubbard, and he says, if you want to avoid criticism, say nothing, do nothing, and be nothing. And I think that's very powerful. Every time we step forward and say something or create something, people will criticize us. Now we have to develop thick skin and believe and trust in that what we're creating is from an authentic and honest place. And whether the critic reserves it, brings it in with criticism or praise, we should no matter what love it because it comes from us. And it was our expression that made it to this material world to be experienced. So their perspective and criticism should not really impact you. It's important to know that. Now, I love having honest and open communications that are grounded in respect, curiosity, and openness, no matter how uncomfortable they are. I do not like having cliche conversations where it's just like, how are you? It's very superficial. I want to get to the gut level, communication level. And most of the time, I'm very direct with my conversation. And I know sometimes that robs people the wrong way. And sometimes I feel it's not that I'm wrong. It could be it's rubbing you the wrong way because I'm giving you inconvenient truth. I'm not saying all the time I am 100% correct. I make mistakes. I do things that, sometimes I have to take back and say, wow, I was wrong, because we are constantly changing and certain beliefs that we have at a certain period of time, evolve and change. So with that being said, I always wonder like how authentic and like how much integrity people are holding when their public view does not match their private view. Because I feel that a lot of people do self-censoring and that limits the engagement of important topics because people are afraid of cancel culture. So I do have a lot of friends when I would be speaking of topics that were very heated and provocative would DM me. They wouldn't even tell me things on my comment sections. They would DM me directly saying, wow, thank you for saying what you're saying. I cannot say that because I work at such and such a job and I will lose my job. I'm having such a tough time with this topic, and it feels good to know that other people are, having a separate view or feel a different way. And this is things that I'm sure happens to a lot of people. They do not say things because they operate out of their social media like a marketing brand campaign, and they want to be so authentic, and I'm going to expose everything and share all my privacy and be so integral, and yet they're self-censoring. And it's a disservice to yourself because you're being dishonest with yourself. And you're not giving us the opportunity to get to know the real you if you're being authentic. So I'm a person that I'm always speaking my mind, and I believe that people could speak their mind and we could have healthy disagreement. For example, I stayed on vacation with a family member, and at first the conversations were very cliche, very fluff, because we haven't seen each other in a while. And then there was a topic that everybody was agreeing about the topic, because sometimes people become mirror or echo chambers. And I was like, oh no, I don't feel that way. And we were discussing, they were saying their point of view and I was saying my point of view. And the topic was guns. I'm for guns. They were against guns. And I had to express my view and not falter. And they had to express their view and not falter. But we came to the middle ground of what, we do agree about guns. And that was that there are young people with mental health issues that should not be allowed to get a gun within a day, right? And I agree with that. Guns kill people, sure, but criminals kill people and people with mental health issues kill people, but that doesn't mean that a healthy person cannot have a gun. It is like your right to defend yourself. It's written in our Constitution to bear arms. So expanding our beliefs and not backing down just to do a people please type of move is very important, because would they really get to know the real you, or would they get to know that public you, not the private self, right? And that's important for me, to be sharing from a place that's real, because at the end of the day, I just want to have heart to heart open communication that is meaningful and lasting. I want to expand and grow. And you know what? I have had conversations with people who are for vaccines, and I'm practically considered an anti-vaxxer, where they kept giving me their points, and then I had to look at their points and say, you know what? Maybe you're right about that. And they changed my mind, not right away, but eventually after I did more research, I said, okay, I have to be more open and seeing what's true and what's not true about this conversation. So don't play it safe, because a lot of the times we are involved in these woke religions that are cultish, and they want to do this whole cancel culture, but it's because they're afraid to be courageous and speak up for themselves. So they just followers, and they have this social justice warrior. When I was talking earlier in one of my videos about cults, conspiracy theory is a cousin of cults, okay? Social justice warriors are a cult. The woke culture is a cult, okay? Black Lives Matter movement is a cult, okay? Because I have had experience with that. I said something that did not go for the narrative of the Black Lives Matter movement. Oh God, forget about it. How wrong was I to say something different? And for me, it was like, but I could say this. Why should I limit myself from saying something that I'm also seeing a different side to? So again, I don't like to police my own thoughts and those of others. I don't know why honest expression is a threat. Because if I come here with whatever I'm saying and you are already standing in your truth, you should not be intimidated, and your mind should not be changed by what I have to say. You have your own values and beliefs that are holding you steady. New information is just new information. You're just not aware of it. So I ask you, are you being honest with yourself when you're only hearing echo chambers and people that are mirroring everything that you're saying? Right? We need all kinds of different opinions, because we're going to have groupthink. And we are all one, yet we are all living different lives and have different perspectives and different experiences in our lives that shape who we are. So I need to know your story. I need to know how you look at things. You know, I used to teach, I used to train people on Kaizen, continuous improvement. And I remember one exercise that they used to do was like, they would ask people like, draw a house or draw a flower. And everybody, no matter who, twins or whatever, everybody drew like such a different house or such a different flower, because we all have many ways of looking at the world and seeing things and experiencing. So that proves that our experiences are unique to us and we need to share them. Okay. And not only that, like there was another exercise of like how many ideas can you come up for a paper clip, you know, like how can you use a paper clip just beyond like using it to clip together papers. And one person could come up with like 5 ideas or maybe 10, but a group of people could come up with 30 or 40 ideas. So do you see why we need everybody's input? Because not one idea is needed. All ideas, no matter how dumb they sound, are important. They add to the whole. So, one thing that I want to say before I leave this message is that people who hold different views than me, I don't see them as my enemy. They just have a different perspective shaped by their own experiences. The discomfort that you feel when I say my truth is not for me to hold. That's for you to deal with your own trigger. I am not responsible for how you receive and interpret the way I communicate. So don't be so attached to your views and beliefs and then feel attacked when somebody says something about something that you identify with, you know? And last but not least, what is the cost to agree with things that you don't believe in? What is it costing you? I leave you with that. Because if you're an independent individual thinker who wants to grow and evolve, you really have to have cultivation, courageous, open throat chakra, and connect from a heart center, knowing like, this is who I am, and I'm going to bring it out no matter how scared I am. No matter if there's people out there trying to cancel me. Because that's exactly what someone said to me. You're lucky because, you know, you post things but you don't work for an employer, or you post things but you're not selling something with your social media, so you don't have to worry about your income. So you're worrying how you come out through your social media because of money? Think about that. Why are you self-censoring for money? Your true self is not fully out, it's fully in. So thank you for listening to this. I hope you have a beautiful, blissful, and blessed day. Bye, gorgeous.